for joining us, Scott.
No problemo.
So, been at the club for a few months now. How have you enjoyed the time so far?
I've loved it. It's been great. The welcome was excellent from Laura and Cass, and we've got James, Nick, David Gibson. The structure of the way things work in the background is great, so it makes my job really easy. And the players have been fantastic since I've come in, so I've had absolutely no complaints, and I've really enjoyed it.
How did it come about, and what attracted you to Glasgow City?
It came about because the job was up for grabs, and I really jumped at the chance of getting the job. And what attracted me was the fact that I knew that the club was successful, and I saw that as a real challenge to go into a club that's already been successful, is successful, and to try and maintain that, and hopefully even take a step further. As a head coach or a manager, you very seldom get that chance.
How have you found the setup since you've come in? Is it kind of different from what you're used to, or did it surprise you, or anything like that?
It's been great because we're lucky that we're able to get the girls together 4 times a week, which is really good from a training perspective, and what you can actually give them, and how much they can take on board. And you've also then got the match day, so you see them enough to get your point across, and to get them to play in the way that you want. So that's been a good thing, I think.
When was the first time you seen the team? I remember seeing you at the PSG game. I think you were doing some radio.
That was the first time I really saw the team, to be honest. I was working for the Beeb, and I jumped at the chance. I was asked if I would like to go and co-com the game. I said yeah, definitely. Really enjoyed it. It was a difficult game for Glasgow City. PSG are a good side, and I just enjoyed the whole thing, not thinking that a few weeks later I would be the head coach.
Yeah, so it was that kind of whetted the appetite a wee bit. You just seen them play, big game.
To be honest, I've seen the quite a bit of the women's game because of my involvement with the national youth teams, where I was involved with performance schools. They've got a lot of the younger up and coming Scotland stars, and they obviously incorporate girls. And then always was there or thereabouts at Tory Glen and places like that, where we would meet up for gatherings and training sessions. Then either before it, after, or even during on another pitch, the women's teams were playing, and I was lucky enough to get involved a little bit at one stage, and I helped Gareth out at one stage. So yeah, I kind of knew them, but not sort of closely as far as the strengths and weaknesses, but I knew how good they were.
Yeah, definitely. What was the first session like, first training session?
First training session was good. I think the thing was that when I first came in, that it was important that we got the girls smiling and enjoying the football, and we set out to make sure that was the case. That training is pretty much always got a fun element to it, or we try and give the players what they want, but at the same time get out of it what we need. So it's been like that so far. It's been enjoyable. It's been really intense because obviously only a few weeks in, and we've got the biggest sort of games coming up or on the horizon. So there's been a lot of work being done in the background to make sure that we've been ready for this period. So no, I've enjoyed it, and every training session is a little bit different, but I'm hoping the players have enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, you mentioned there was a bit of a fun aspect to it. I know the dressing room is a quite a positive one. Did they play any tricks on you? Any initiations or anything like that?
No, not any tricks as yet. I've got a terrible memory, so I leave things lying around all over the place. So they tend to find me for that, and they keep pointing towards the end of season night out, and that I'll have a fair bit of
you're looking after them that night out,
slice of the financial action to hand out. So I'm sure they'll keep doing that, and getting the kitty as high as they can for themselves. But that's good. As I say, I leave things lying around, so I came back in on Sunday, and I think somebody had my phone that I'd left lying around, and they took a few pictures of whatever was just going around at the time, just randomly. So no, they're good fun. They are good fun, and they're also serious, and they're committed. But there are one or two in there that you've got to watch out for.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you can name them.
Yeah, no problem. There's a few cheeky ones in there that you would have to make sure that you're not leaving your phone while they're there. Like definitely Joe. Joe's definitely in the thick of things. Leanne's got a wee sort of twinkle in her eye as well. She likes a wee joke, but she's deadly serious at other times. I think the girls are good.
Yeah, women's football is kind of really rising at the minute. There's a lot of really good things happening. How much has it changed since when you were learning the game, starting out in the game?
I don't know. I mean, I think football's pretty much football. I mean, I think the game in general is getting much more, the professional, the sports science side of football has become huge. So that's different. The money in football is different, and I think they're always going to be the big clubs and the big nations. So that doesn't really change that much. There's one or two drop out and one or two come in, but in general that stays the same. But I think in club football, obviously the difference has been with the Premiership. But I like European football, so I like watching the German league and the Dutch league, even the Italian league, as well as the Scottish Premiership, just to keep myself up to date.
Yeah. Well, talking about your own experiences in these leagues, obviously you played in Europe. What was that like? Life experience, football experience?
Yeah, life experience was great. It was great. I was at Aberdeen for almost 10 years when I left, and I was born in Aberdeen, so it was the first time I left to go to Dortmund, and it wasn't one of those sort of things that I'd really thought about long term to do, but just the circumstances that came up. I was asked to go to Rapid Vienna. They'd offered me a contract. We kind of just had a case of going across there to agree it, and as I was travelling that day, the agent at the time said, "Look, would you like to pop in past Dortmund and they want to see you and have a 2 or 3 day trial?" And I thought, well, why not? And then I didn't leave, so I ended up signing there, and then from there did a little bit of sort of hopping back and forward between Germany and Holland on loan, until eventually, having played for Vitesse Arnhem and Utrecht, I eventually signed 4 years for FC Twente and loved my time there. So from a football perspective and from a life perspective, it was great. It was really good, and I would recommend it to any player if they have the opportunity to go abroad and play. It does change your life and the way you look at things, but I think it can never be a bad thing. You can always go home.
This is one question I've always wanted to ask somebody. I've never had the chance to until now. What's it like going for Scotland at Hampden?
It's amazing. It really is. It's totally amazing. They were always my highlights were playing for the national teams. All the the various age groups. It's nothing like playing for your national team. It's completely different, and you do feel a certain responsibility when you play for your national team. So, if you've got a full stadium, Hampden, and they're right behind you and you score, you can really hear it and you feel it. And I was lucky enough to get some important goals and European Championship run-ins, and I think it was good to be able to taste that as a football player, and I would recommend it to anyone.
I'd like to get a chance myself. I don't want to role.
Yeah,
so you've played with some great players, some household names throughout the years. It might be a hard question to answer, but who's the best? Who's the best player you've played with?
Played with great players at all the clubs that I played. I was lucky when I was at Aberdeen that I came through with some real Aberdeen legends, because they were still part of the really strong team of the 80s, albeit a lot of them had left, but there were 3 or 4 of them that were still around, and coming through as a young player at that time was amazing. Willie Millers and Alex McLeish's and Stuart McKimmy's. It was great, and then there was a sort of influx of Dutch players after that. Hans Hielhuis was a great player for Aberdeen. I was lucky to play, you know, in the Scotland side as well with players like Richard Gough and Ali McCoy Stephen, who was one of my heroes growing up. What a player he was as a goal scorer. And then obviously across in Holland and Germany, I met some really good ones as well. I mean, in Dortmund it was just back to back stars when I joined that club, because they had just won the Champions League. So you know, they had household names in Germany and amazing players like Jürgen Kohler and Matthias Sammer, Karl-Heinz Riedler.
They're alright, aren't they?
You know, they were just incredible. Andy Moller, he was an amazing player as well. So that was good. But I think you get that. You get, when you move around and you're lucky enough to be able to play at international level, you always come across some top class players. But I don't know, I couldn't really single one of them out, to be honest, but they were all good.
Manager now, and played under a lot of different managers for your career as well. Is there any big influence coming from any of them?
Yeah, I mean, my strong influences would probably come through my upbringing at Aberdeen with Alex Smith, with Jockey Scott and Drew Jarvie, who were great coaches, particularly for a striker or a front player. Alex Smith was a great manager at that time because he was intelligent enough to know how to bring through young players and make them stick. So that really helped me at Aberdeen. He just joined as I arrived basically, so that was great. But then after that, it would probably be a coach called Fred Rutten, who was my coach at FC Twente for 2 years. He went on to PSV and Schalke and Feyenoord now, so he's been at like all the top clubs, and he was a really good coach because he kind of knew what you were going to get from one day to the next. There was no surprises. His training was quite similar, and we had a successful team at the time.
Yeah, so you've learned a lot from how you kind of take that to.
Because he was a different character to the Scottish characters. He was much more laid back, and I've had the sort of strong influence of that sort of old school style, where it's quite harsh and hard, and then someone who never once shouted in the dressing room at any time, no matter when things were going good or bad. So,
last question: what can we expect to see from the team going forward? What kind of, is it going to be more of the same, or are we going to see a different style or different types of players coming in?
I don't know. We've got some really good players here. We're always looking for one or two more. If we can get them, it'll be good. We'll hopefully continue to try and bring some young players to the club, or promote the young ones that we have at the club. But we need some youth, but at the same time you need a backbone, and experience is really important. As you can see, we need that for these games coming up.